The Factories Act 1948, Act No. 63 of 1948, Chapter 8, Annual Leave with Wages. 80. Wages during leave period. 1. For the leave allowed to him under Section 78 or Section 79, as the case may be, a worker 2 shall be entitled to wages at a rate equal to the daily average of his total full-time earnings for the days on which he actually worked during the month immediately preceding his leave, exclusive of any overtime and bonus but inclusive of dearness allowance and the cash equivalent of the advantage accruing through the concessional sale to the worker of food, grains and other articles, provided that in the case of a worker who has not worked on any day during the calendar month immediately preceding his leave, he shall be paid at a rate equal to the daily average of his total full-time earnings for the days on which he actually worked during the last calendar month preceding his leave in which he actually worked, exclusive of any overtime and bonus but inclusive of dearness allowance and the cash equivalent of the advantage accruing through the concessional sale to the workers of food, grains and other articles. 2. The cash equivalent of the advantage accruing through the concessional sale to the worker of food, grains and other articles shall be computed as often as may be prescribed, on the basis of the maximum quantity of food, grains and other articles admissible to a standard family. Explanation 1. Standard family means a family consisting of a worker, his or her spouse and 2 children below the age of 14 years requiring in all 3 adult consumption units. Explanation 2. Adult consumption unit means the consumption unit of a male above the age of 14 years, and the consumption unit of a female above the age of 14 years and that of a child below the age of 14 years shall be calculated at the rates of 8 and 6 respectively of one adult consumption unit. 3. The state government may make rules prescribing a. The manner in which the cash equivalent of the advantage accruing through the concessional sale to a worker of food, grains and other articles shall be computed, and b. The registers that shall be maintained in a factory for the purpose of securing compliance with the provisions of this section. 81. Payment in advance in certain cases. A worker who has been allowed leave for not less than 4 days in the case of an adult and 5 days in the case of a child, shall, before his leave begins, be paid the wages due for the period of the leave allowed. 82. Mode of recovery of unpaid wages. Any sum required to be paid by an employer under his chapter but not paid by him shall be recoverable as delayed wages under the provisions of the Payment of Wages Act 1936, 4 of 1936. 83. Power to make rules. The state government may make rules directing managers of factories to keep registers containing such particulars as may be prescribed and requiring the registers to be made available for examination by inspectors. 84. Power to exempt factories. Where the state government is satisfied that the leave rules applicable to workers in a factory provide benefits which in its opinion are not less favorable than those for which this chapter makes provision, it may, by written order, exempt the factory from all or any of the provisions of this chapter subject to such conditions as may be specified in the order. Explanation. For the purposes of this section, in deciding whether the benefits which are provided for by any leave rules are less favorable than those for which this chapter makes provision or not, the totality of the benefits shall be taken into account.